The authors have no financial interests in this presentation. This is a story of Aladdin, the charming street rat of Agrabah, who grows up to become the talk of the town because of his magic lamp and the genie. Jealous evil magician Jafar wanted to take revenge. He cursed him, and next moment itself, Aladdin found himself aging. Puzzled and scarred, Aladdin rubbed his magic lamp. Suddenly, a strange fog filled up the room, and a voice said, "My master, I am the genie of this lamp. What is your wish?" Aladdin could not focus on near objects. Genie explained that this is presbyopia, the curse of the 40s. Many structural and physiological changes occur in the eye with the onset of presbyopia. At present, various static and dynamic techniques have been attempted to give presbyopes good vision for near, intermediate, and far viewing distances. Aladdin put forward his first wish to get rid of glasses using presbyopic laser correction. Indications for presbyopic laser correction include normal anterior and posterior segment. Contraindications include raised blood sugar, any posterior or anterior segment abnormality. Addressing patient expectations, explaining about neuroadaptation time should be also given a lot of importance. It is also important to know the patient's dominant eye, for which we need to make a small triangle with our hands and focus on the object in the center. If the object stays centered, your right eye is dominant. If the object jumps, then the left eye is considered dominant. Micro-monovision testing can be done by first blocking the patient's view of chart. The X lens is then put in front of the non-dominant eye, and the patient is asked to observe if any ghosting is noted. Then the patient is shown the near vision correction and made to read the smallest possible letter, after which the distance card is again shown to the patient. The distant dominant eye is covered, and the patient is asked if he is aware of the near dominant eye being blurred for distance. Depending if the patient can or cannot read N5, we then add or decrease 0.25 diopters and check again. Monovision correction is one technique of correcting presbyopia, where the dominant eye is corrected for distance to almost plano, whereas the non-dominant eye is corrected to be slightly myopic for near vision. This technique does not require any special platform. However, it leads to loss of stereopsis and thus compromised vision. To overcome this, Zeiss came up with Presbyon laser blended vision. The dominant eye in laser blended vision is corrected almost to plano, while the non-dominant eye is given a 1.5 diopter spherical addition. It is individualized treatment plan based on preoperative spherical aberration and the functional age of the eye, unlike monovision correction. Then came the concept of Presby LASIK, which is based on multifocal ablation of the cornea using excimer laser. In Presby LASIK, it is possible to either correct near vision peripherally or centrally, or in some cases using concentric alternate near-far zones. When the peripheral zones is used for near vision, this is known as peripheral presbyopic laser vision correction. NIDEC uses this technique. When the central zone is used for near vision, this is called as central presbyopic laser vision correction. Presby Max creates a bispheric multifocal profile. For each of the patient's eye, the central region of the cornea is optimized for near vision and the peripheral region for far vision. With the Presby Max module, it is now possible to choose between 4 different treatment types. Presby Max Symmetric treats the dominant and the non-dominant eye equally regarding depth of focus and the refractive target. Presby Max Micro Monovision, on the other hand, creates the same depth of focus in both eyes. However, the dominant eye focuses slightly more towards near vision. In case of Presby Max Hybrid, a different depth of focus is generated in the dominant and the non-dominant eye. This ensures an extremely fast visual recovery. Presby Max monocular platform is similar. However, there is no add power in the dominant eye and medium add power in the non-dominant eye. After a trial of using multifocal lenses, we then analyze the patient based on the decision tree for deciding which protocol can be performed for the patient. For presbyopic planning, we must start with selecting the aberration-free protocol. Then, depending on the refractive error, we must modify the refraction of the patient. Once we input all the patient data, an addition of plus 1.75 diopter is used as all-rounder solution. But again, depending upon the refractive error or planning of surface treatment, or in case of pseudophakic eyes, we need to add spherical power to this correction. We must make use of pupil offset, and again depending on the refractive error, the diameter of the optical zone is then decided upon. Supracore is another presbyopic algorithm that corrects presbyopia in one-step procedure. The Supracore software creates a 12 mm elevation with negative spherical aberration in the central cornea, surrounded by an aspheric optimized mid-peripheral zone. In patients with myopia, the distant dominant eye is made plano, and a regular supracore is performed in the near dominant eye, whereas in a patient with hyperopia, the distant dominant eye is treated with soft supracore, that is 1.5 diopters near addition, to achieve a target of 0. And the near dominant eye is treated with regular supracore of 2 diopters near addition as mentioned before. Intracore is another technique using femto laser to create concentric rings in the corneal stroma. These rings cause localized steepening, leading to concentric distance and near corrected zones. Lastly, multifocal phakic IOL, refractive lens exchange, and accommodating IOLs are also an option. Thus, using the novel approaches of presbyopic treatment, Genie helped transport Aladdin back to where he was, not dependent on his glasses. Aladdin now lived happily ever after with his princess. Wait, don't you want to see what happened to Jafar?
Number 1, number 2.